up above.
If you don't get this shit right, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass.
Now go to hell where you belong, you son of a bitch!
Let's go! Go!
I can't wash the dishes right now!
Do you want some money? Luckily, I got a game for you that's way too messy.
You look oily as fuck, bitch, take a shower!
But don't get too chummy, cause you ain't the only contendee who loves money! The winner of I Love Money will walk away with some illustrious prizes such as a coveted spot in the DH1 Hall of Fame and a cash prize of up to $100,000. Results may vary. So what are we waiting for? Let's bounce some checks. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the finale of I Love Money Season 12. Tonight, we are going to crown a winner. Either Shelby or Cheyenne will walk away with the title of the winner of I Love Money Season 12, a spot in the DH1 Hall of Fame, and the cash prize that comes along with it. So, who's going to win this season? We'll get right to it. But first, this season on I Love Money, I invited 23 brand new competitors into the I Love Money Hotel and Casino. It's our first season in a very long time where we had all newbies. And the newbies took this game by storm. Round by round, they voted each other out and they put each other in the box in game-changing challenges, facing off in the immunity twists where they had to choose between paymaster or immunity. Fights broke out, people got called names that were not on their government names, or maybe it really was. We don't really know yet with that Daniel Ryan situation. It was a pretty fierce season. And after all was said and done, we have a final two unlikely frenemies, you could say, throughout the season. And one of them is going to take home the prize after 40 days competing. So before we get into tonight, let's discuss what the stakes are. So Shelby and Cheyenne, because you guys decided with Kyra to have a jury vote to determine the winner, tonight the 10 jury members hold your fate in their hands, where they will cast their votes for who they think deserves to be the winner of I Love Money Season 12. They can vote on whatever merit they want. They can vote based on your gameplay. They can vote because they think you're pretty. They can vote you because they like you. It is completely up to them. Shelby, since you were the first person to finish the final immunity challenge, you have the responsibility to cancel out one of their jury votes. You will make this decision before the opening pitches and before the jury speaks whatever they want to speak to you guys. Because you are canceling out one vote, tonight there will be 9 votes. That means that 5 votes is the magic number. So the first person that gets 5 votes from the jury will be crowned the winner. I've seen seasons where it's been a blowout. I've seen seasons where it's been nothing, where it's been really tight, 5-4 vote. So it is a game-changing decision which juror loses their vote. So before we get into tonight's opening pitches and the voting, I want to check in with our final 2. So I'm going to start with Cheyenne. Cheyenne, how are you feeling making it to the final 2?
I'm happy. I'm relieved this is over. And I'm excited. Excited to see what happens, and I'm excited to see what happens with the people that I met and the relationships I built. So yeah.
Thank you. Shelby, same question.
I am super excited. Everything that Cheyenne said, plus. I came into this game wanting to play not only but a legendary game, and I'm looking forward to telling the jury why I think I did and why I think I deserve their vote.
Okay. I'm going to check in with each jury member. Now, jury, without giving away how you're feeling about the final 2, I just want to ask you guys how you felt about the season. So, Brandon, how have you felt about your time in I Love Money?
I mean, I had a great time when I was in the game. You know, I was playing super hard while I was there, and once I left, I had a great time in Zurich too. I mean, I was out of the game almost as long as I was in it, and just sitting back from like just channeling the audience, it was so much fun to watch. Like, I loved seeing everything that was happening on screen, the arguments that I didn't have to be a part of. It was great. I had a great time. I think the final two both played phenomenal games, and I'm really excited to see what happens tonight. But I think it was a great season. I think, you know, everyone came to play and it played out the way it did. I think it was really exciting and I had a great time.
Thank you. Next up is Cody.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How did you feel about your time at I Love Money this season without giving away how you're feeling about the final two?
I hated it.
Okay, well, thank you, Cody. Giraffes.
This was kind of a out of retirement party for me because it has been a hot damn second since I've done an org like this. And I can honestly say I could not have asked for a better welcome out of retirement party than this game. It was fun. It was hectic. It was crazy. Like, I didn't know how out of date my knowledge of orgs was until I came in here. But ultimately, it's like, I honestly could not have asked for. I mean, it could have been a little bit better, you know. I could have not been out 10th. But, you know, can't complain.
Thank you. Jess H.
Honestly, it was so crazy. I can't. But yeah, like what everyone else is saying, it was really fun. I think it was really crazy because of like the vault ceremonies and like I feel like that caused so much drama and yeah, I think but honestly I feel like it was really nice meeting everyone. I think everyone can agree that I feel like it was a really good season. Like there was drama and all that, but yeah, I think it was really fun at the end of the day. Period.
Thank you. Jarvis. I love the shirt, by the way.
Thanks. What I thought about the season. It was interesting. I had a good time, a lot of fun, memories with people. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Lucy.
Orgs are always a really good opportunity to learn about yourself, not just as a player, but as a person and how you handle stress, trauma responses, how you handle rejection, abandonment. And it was a good distraction for me from all my health problems. And I take my job as a juror really seriously. I always love being on the jury. I think it's super fun. And yeah, I take it seriously.
Thank you. Johnny.
Grateful that Chantel invited me or lured me into this game. Had it not been for her, I wouldn't have been able to meet some fantastic people. I can definitely say that after Sunday, there's a handful of people that I'm hoping will continue to be my friends. So I'm looking forward to that. So I think at some point in time, everyone here probably complained about how long this game is or how much energy we're putting into it. But I think we would all agree it's worth it in the end. So I had a blast. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Johnny. Debbie.
Oh, Dylan. This game was so much more than a game to me. I mean, when you and Chantel first came to me, I was like, I don't know, I've got schedule conflicts. And then we started talking and 10 minutes later, I'm like, I'm in. Loved it. Loved meeting all the diversity in the cast. I learned a lot about myself, a lot about other people. I truly, truly made amazing friendships as well that better be in real life because you guys are stuck with me. I look forward to meeting many of you and definitely keeping in touch as well after Sunday. And even if we've had our differences, I really respect each and every one of you. And yeah, this game, as stressful and anxiety ridden as it was, I would like shake and get nervous for these comps. It was so much fun and I tested myself and it was such an amazing experience that I'm so glad I did.
Thank you, Debbie. Julius.
Overall, it was fun. Anxiety through the roof. Each and every challenge and episode was definitely unique and different. This whole experience for me was different because it was my first time. But overall, I did enjoy it and I don't regret it.
Thank you. And lastly, Kyra.
Hi. Yay. I had a sorry. I had a great time. You know how people say like they're here for like a long time, they're here for a good time, not a long time. Well, this was both. It was good and it was very, very, very long. And I lasted much longer than I was expecting to last. And I want to say, you guys did me dirty with that gauntlet. That was a gobble me, swallow me gauntlet because I got gobbled and swallowed in that gauntlet. I was deep throating some quarters and my throat hurts and it's on fire. But yeah, I had a great time getting to meet everyone. And it was a fantastic, well, not fantastic, but it was a fun experience. And I'm glad I did this, and I'm glad Chantel randomly found me on Facebook. I don't know how the heck she found me on there, but I think it was just very, 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 very fun. And yeah, it was great. It was great. Yay!
I love the confetti. Well, thank you everyone for your candidacy. Shelby, what I need you to do now is I need you to write down who you are going to void. Do not show us who you are choosing. Once you have that written down, I need you to lock it in by sending the name to your production chat. This could be a make or break decision. Back in season 10, Taisha won the game by 1 vote. And if she chose the wrong person, she would not have won. So remember, choose wisely.
Okay, I did just send it without giving anything away. I do want to say that I came in tonight 100% sure I was going to do one person. And within the last 20 minutes, I changed my mind. So here's hoping.
Oh, you sent it in the house chat.
Period. Cheyenne, don't tell anyone.
I'm crying. Okay. Well, the decision has been made. So what I need now is I need everybody except for our final 2 to hop off camera and go on mute. Now, Shelby, since you already had the luxury of canceling out a jury vote, Cheyenne, I'm going to give you this luxury. You get to choose if you get to go first or you get to go second for your speech. Now, mind you, if you go first for the opening speech, you'll go last in the closing speech. So do you want to go first for the opening speech or do you want to go first for the closing speech?
Shelby could go first.
Okay. So Shelby, you're going to open us up with your opening speech.
Okay, thank you, Cheyenne. I want to start this by saying that I am planning to mention in my opening speech here some really touchy subjects. So if you're highly sensitive, especially to things like police brutality, ableism, racism, things like that, please use your own discretion and consider muting until you see like the yellow box around my name go away. You know what I mean? Okay, as all of you know, I have played online reality games before, and I just want to quickly tell a story about one game I played. It was
doesn't
called...
she have to like eliminate someone real quickly?
I already did, Cody.
She already did that. Jurors, please stay on mute. Thank you.
So as you all know, I played online reality games before. I want to quickly tell a story about a game that I played. It was called Word on the Street, and it was season 4 of that game. I used my final speech to openly talk about things that I feel passionately about advocating for instead of the game. And unfortunately, I lost that game by 1 vote because of that decision to use, the very teeny tiny platform that I have to raise awareness about things I think that we should all be aware about and talk about. So today, I slightly modified, and I'm choosing to use my opening speech to talk about these things instead of my closing speech. So haters, there you go. A big reason a lot of us enjoy reality TV and enjoy playing these games is to distract ourselves from things like stress and drama and trauma of the world around us. However, I believe that like we as players, as we study and ingest reality TV, a lot of us unfortunately lose touch with just that, reality, right? So I wanted to take this time to encourage everyone in this game, including myself, Cheyenne, all the jury, pre-jury members, to take time to mindfully reacclimate ourselves with the realities and the struggles that our world is facing. To aid you in this process, I want to make you all aware, if you weren't already, about something that happened on Monday, 4 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, however you look at it. Justin Neely, his name's Justin Neely, a 30-year-old man who lived in New York City and was also homeless, got on the F train. He was yelling on the train that he doesn't have food, he doesn't have drink, and that he was fed up. Shortly after, a white man strangled Justin for 15 minutes before Justin eventually died. The man who strangled Justin was taken into custody, was questioned, and then was released to walk the streets after publicly strangling a man to death. This is only part of an ongoing aggression towards Black people and towards homeless people. So I want to ask everyone here to not be one of the bystanders who was on that train, who stood by kind of passively while Justin was murdered, strangled to death. I lost my little spot. Hold on. When you see something, say something. And it doesn't need to be as dramatic as a man dying either. When you see a Black man being spoke down to by a group of white people, even if they're your nemesis in the game that you're playing, say something. When you see people using things like ableism, fatphobia, racism, homophobia as strategy in an inhumane way, I challenge all of you to say something. I can tell you from experience that it will lead to you not being the most popular person in the room, but that is a sacrifice that we all have to make in order to work towards a more just and a more equitable world. Jury, like I said before, I'm looking forward to answering your questions and explaining to you why I believed I played not only a winning, but a legendary game. And thank you to everyone, including the audience, for listening to me. Thank you, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Shelby. Cheyenne, you have the floor.
Let me start out by saying to Shelby, that definitely touched me, and I understand how you feel, and thanks for making me aware of that, because I live in New York and I didn't know that happened. And it's crazy because I probably saw that man on the train, because it sounds like a guy I actually saw a week ago, and same thing he was repeating over and over again. So it really hit me. So thanks for sharing that, because like I live with that every day. Jury, I didn't write a speech. I never took notes. I just played the game. I'm not gonna draw out a speech. You guys do have questions for me. I just played the game loyal. I never stabbed anyone in the back. I never changed who I am. I played the game as my authentic self, and I think that should be recognized. I worked my ass off and I played hard because I knew if I didn't play hard, I would have been sent home. I came in the game late, so I had a disadvantage coming in, so I had to win that first challenge. I had no choice, but not gonna draw it out. Ask your questions, and yeah, that's my speech.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Thank you both. So with the opening speeches now complete, we will begin the jury questioning. So jurors, you are going to go in order of your elimination. So we'll start with juror number 1. So Brandon, please take the floor.
Hello. Wow. I am honored to be here. I think both of you played phenomenal games, and genuinely, I can go either way tonight. The whole time I played this game, it was never from a personal lens. I am looking at strategy. I'm looking at your answers tonight. And the other night when we had the round table, I was trying to be fair. I was trying to play devil's advocate for everybody. I wanted to give pros and give cons. And when you look at your two games, I mean, you played very different games. You know, Cheyenne, the whole way through, she had a very good social game. She always had numbers around her. When you got to the jury phase, you know, she won immunity, she won comps, but she didn't have to say names. And the only person she sent home was Johnny. When you look at Shelby, I mean, Shelby early on was not in the best position, and she fought hard to better her position round by round by round, and she fought from beginning to end. And I know Cheyenne did too. I think you both played great games, like I said. But Shelby also has a resume. I mean, Shelby took out Jess, Shelby took out Cody, Shelby took out Debbie. You both fought to the end. And like I said, it's going to be hard for me to choose a winner between the two of them. I'm really going to pay attention to your jury answers. And I played with both of you. You know, I had a relationship with both of you, and I know how I view your game. I want to hear how you view your game. So I'm really excited for tonight. Again, I think you both should be incredibly proud no matter who wins. With that being said, my question is for Shelby. Like I said, I mean, it's very clear Cheyenne had a great social game. She always had people around her. She was always having conversations. And you early on, you were targeted by a lot of different people, and I was never clear who you were working with, who you were loyal to. So my question for you is, throughout the game, who were you working with? Who were you loyal to? How did you use those relationships to further your game? And just describe a little bit your social game throughout the game.
Okay, there's a lot of tiers to that question, so if I forget and have to re-ask you, please
All
please
good.
help. So throughout the game, who I was working with, great question. So the first night, as everyone knows, Cody called me out for being too quiet in the big group chat, right? So I made the decision then, in the vein of keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Cody was willing to openly target me. And so I wanted to bring Cody in as someone to work with. Number one, because of that. Number two, because we were on the same limo. So early on in the game, I was working with Cody. As soon as I had the opportunity to talk with Julius, I brought in Julius. And then Jessar, as we all know, was kind of in everyone's corner in the beginning of the game. So Jessar came in and we formed what was later known to be the Elite Four. The Elite Four brought in Cheyenne, Brandon, and Lucy to form what, the iconic alliance, the House of Laganja. And I was loyal to the House of Laganja. What happened was I was not targeting Cody, but I did reveal to Alexis, because I wasn't there on the night that y'all won all of the powers and things like that. I was talking to Alexis and I did reveal to her that Cody had a power, and Cody did put in the House of Laganja what that power was. So I revealed that to her, hoping to gain some trust with the other side of the house. What I did not know Alexis would do is blow that up to her entire team and tell 9 other people that was happening. That was one of the things that I just could have never predicted, because that information would have been kept so well between just me and Alexis, right? So then I got word, Brandon, actually from you, that Cheyenne, Jessar, and Cody were kind of scheming against me within the House of Laganja. And that's when I had to make the decision to make a big move. And like I said, I came into this game wanting to be a legend. And so I said, you know what? Let's start it off right. And so I blew up the House of Laganja. At that point, I was working with anyone who would take me. And Brandon, you were one of the people who chose to take me. And I really appreciated that. I was loyal to you. I was loyal to Lucy to an extent. However, I knew that the two of you were not, I knew that we weren't a final 3. I could tell because you guys would come to the group chat that we had with things that you had already talked about outside of that. And if you were prioritizing me, then you would have talked about that with me there, right? And so I was able to kind of diagnose that and kind of just tucked it in my pocket for later. So I worked with you until I could. I took opportunities to gain little bits of trust with people as I went. One of those being, saving Jess H, which later I believe resulted in her saving me when I was in the box with her as the paymaster. And then flash forward 2 days before I was eliminated the first time, I made a group chat with Jarvis and with Kyra. This was not me saying, hey, you guys, fuck whatever you want to do. This is the final 3. This was me saying, the 2 of you are who I want to take to the end. You can know that what I put in this group chat is what I mean. This is legitimately what I'm planning. And this other person is a filter. It ended up that I couldn't trust Johnny as much as I thought. And so he got me in the box against Kyra, who Jarvis was already working closely with, and Julius, who he was also working closest with. That is why I ultimately went out. Went out of the game, came back in the game, as you all know. And then from there, I evaluated my position. I evaluated what I thought would be best. And what I thought would be best was to get in with Cheyenne, Julius, and Kyra. I formed a group chat called the JKSS group chat. And it was essentially the same as what I was trying to do with Kyra and Jarvis. I was giving them all truthful information. And from there, I don't, want to pat myself on the back too much, but I essentially called out what the rest of the game from the final 6 would be. We eliminated Johnny. We then eliminated Debbie. And then Julius went, and then when Cheyenne kept me, I swore my game to her. And so it was me, Cheyenne, Kyra, and final 3. So that's a little bit of insight of who I worked with throughout the game. But ultimately, who was I loyal to? I was loyal to me, because no one else was loyal to me except for me. And I fucking fought my ass off. Okay, Brandon, did I miss any of the questions that you asked?
No, that's basically what I asked. It's
Okay.
good to have that insight. I appreciate the honesty. Like I said, my vote can go either way. You should both be very proud. You both played very great games. You just both played very different games. So just really, you know, when you're giving answers, make sure you're highlighting the strengths in your game. But I appreciate y'all. Good luck. Wish you the best.
Did I not highlight the strengths in my game?
You did. No, I think that was a good and honest answer. And Cheyenne, like I said, I think you also played a phenomenal game, and I have a lot of love for you. I think, yeah, I mean, I don't think I have two questions. I think I just have the one.
Yeah, you can ask Cheyenne a question if you want to.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, you have to. It's your time.
Okay, cool. So I'll Cheyenne a question as well. So Isaiah kind of brought up at the round table that when you were winning the immunities, you also weren't saying names. So I know you're a comp beast. You both are. You both won a ton of comps. My question is, winning those immunities, what was the strategy behind it? And was part of it not saying names? Was it just securing your own safety?
The strategy was win immunity so Shelby could go in the box so she could go home, because I always was targeting Shelby, and I was very clear who my target was, even though I knew everybody else was targeting me. So yeah, I was who I said I was.
And that definitely showed. No, you were always, it was clear that you were loyal. You were rocking with the people you were rocking with, and I can respect that.
I was even loyal to you.
I know
Even
you were. I
after
love you,
stabbed
Cheyenne.
Kobe.
I'm sorry. I know you were. Yeah, that's my time. Again, I love you both. I respect you both. Best of luck.
Thank you, Brandon. All right. Brandon's questioning is now complete. We'll bring in juror number 2, Cody.
Hi, ladies. Oh my God, I'm so fucking happy.
Your
that
first
both
lady
of
and
you-
your second lady is here.
Like, come on. What more does it take for them to see that I built a fucking great house? You know that. Shelby, you came to me and said, first of all, when you said I was targeting you, it was a target. I was never targeting you, baby. Like, I had to choose someone. You know that. It was nothing personal. And so I was always there for you. And so, and even whenever you blew up that house of the ganja, I just wanted to be known that I came around to Julius and Cheyenne, and I was like, look, I think we should squash this shit. I was like, Shelby is okay. We don't need to look at her right now, so on and so forth. And they were like, no.
I couldn't trust you. So I'm like, nope, Shelby. I said her name. She's not gonna fucking stop.
Julius and Cheyenne were like, get her out, let's go. And I was like, I don't know. And look who took me out, Cheyenne. Look who took me out. And I said, let's get Shelby back on track. I said it.
You should have told her that when you went in that fucking room and told her you would have got us on board.
But I can't tell her that I can control people. I can't. I will never, ever tell anyone that I can control people. And I think that that is a thing that all of these jurors and all the people out there think that that's what I did, is that I controlled people.
Yeah, but you know, our love would have followed. We would have followed with love, not with control. It's a difference. Loyalty.
Period. Thank you. And so, all right. So congratulations on both being there. I'm so happy because in reality, you're exactly right. Shelby, we had a final 2 from the very jump. You came to me and said what you said. Cheyenne, I brought you.
We had a final 2 at the end.
Look, ride or die. Come on. And they
You
don't
know,
even get it.
period.
They don't even get it. Period. All right. And so what I'm going to say is that I just want to know, I actually had to figure out like what question to ask. And so I reached out to someone that we all know. They were part of the Elite Four. And, you know, and we actually kind of want to just know, like, tell me a little bit about like how'd you play your game outside of me? So outside of me, like with the help of me, like what was your game? Because if I wasn't there and using my voice, because I was the voice of everything. Shelby, whenever Debbie and you went into a problem, I was like, all right, I got your back, Shelby. Let's go. Let's hold this house meeting. Let's what hey, let me mediate. And that's always been a thing between me and Debbie, is that it was me and you that went and attacked her. But in reality, Julius also said some things, and I was just there mediating, but Lucy got the credit because she was a mediator. All right. So I was the voice of that. I guess because Jake said that I was leading or driving the limo. All right. So if I wasn't there, what would your voice be? If you had a voice, how would you have distracted that? Same thing, Cheyenne. I felt like everyone would say I'm the shield. So if the shield wasn't there, how would you make it to the end?
Cheyenne, you can go first.
The same way I would have just go hard at comps. I relied on my other relationships. Like you weren't the only relationship I had that kind of showed after you left. And I'm good at I'm a real person. I came in here really being genuine with people. I never stabbed anybody in the back. So I was good with people. So until only reason people didn't like me was because they knew I was riding for you and I didn't care. And it didn't matter because loyalty is everything to me. Everything's not loyal, but loyalty is everything. So yeah. That's it. I just would have been myself. I would have played the game how I played the game. I would have just the same way. I wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah, Cody, all I can say is for the portion of the game that we were working together, because essentially after I blew up the House of Laganja, you and I didn't really talk game after that. The only time we talked was when there was that situation with people saying your name in vain. So while we were working together, how I would have played differently, I probably would have remained quiet for the beginning of the game. It really depends on if people got a hold of me while I was high on an edible or not. And that's unfortunately what happened with Debbie on night 2. So yeah, I would have done my best there, and I probably would have played very similar to how I played as soon as I blew up the House of Laganja. Like Cheyenne said, I had my own relationships. You were not driving my game. I've proven throughout the game I was a strategic beast, if I can be honest. So I was able to kind of build relationships. And I know, I'm going to say this a little bit later, but I think that I had a little bit more of a social game than a lot of you give me credit for. So that's where I stand.
Hey, so number one, your social game, like honestly, my vote is Cheyenne, you think you have it, but honestly, it could go both ways here because Shelby, you played a phenomenal game. I chose you from the day one, and Cheyenne gives me such a hard time because she was like, "Yeah, but you chose Shelby." I'm like, "But you chose Brandon."
You did say that.
Like Shelby, you may have blown it up, but Brandon blew it up. Like it was always a rumor when it came to you. And so Brandon blew it up bigger than you. And I forgave you for all of that. Like I was just like, and then the number one thing is please tell them that I knew that you were gonna go say some shit because you told me that I'm gonna go say stuff to separate me and you from the House of Laganja. Is that not what you said?
I did say that.
That wasn't the move though.
That wasn't, I will say, like, I did say that to you, Cody, and I did intend to do that while I was still planning on working with you. I'll just be completely, as I have been this whole game, blatantly honest. What happened was the night that you and Giraffes had that situation, and I was like, you know what, I really don't want to work with Cody anymore. I felt like that was kind of fucked up, which you and I have talked about. And so there was that, and then there was in the House of, I think it was in the Elite Four chat. You were throwing shade at me for telling Alexis about the power. You were like, oh, who would have done that? And I knew at that point that you knew that it was me. And so I'm a strong, bad bitch. And I was like, I'm not going to take that. So what I could have done was stayed in the group chat and plotted against you guys kind of secretly, played the he said, she said whispering game. But instead, I left both the Elite Four and the House of Laganja, and I made it known that I was not working with y'all anymore. So Cody, I do definitely understand how that was your perspective, but that's what, from my perspective, was like what truly happened.
Yeah, and even your opening speech today kind of made me feel like you were targeting me with like whenever something bad is going on and you don't say something. And like it almost made me feel like you were saying that I did something wrong. And I was never that bully that everyone made it to be. And I was never that person that was doing things against people. Like even the whole entire Daniel Ryan, like that was a whole entire, like I could not remember names, but it was made to be something else. And so with your opening speech, I was like, girl, are you hitting at me?
I was, just to be clear with you, Cody, I was more so hitting at the people who were ragging on you that night. And you and I were kind of enemies at this point, and I went out of my way to stand up for you. I can't remember what the drama was, but there was just this whole group of people ganging up on you. And you and I were publicly against each other at that point, and I still went out of my way to defend you. So it was not ragging on you for those things. I personally have forgiven you for those things. I don't know about your relationship with other people, but that was more directed at actually everyone besides you.
Shelby, you have my respect. I look, you already know that. Final two.
Thank you, Cody.
All right, Cody, are you satisfied?
I am satisfied. Thank you, Dylan.
All right, Cody, you may hop off cam. Thank you. That concludes Cody's questioning. So juror number 3, Giraffes, you have the floor.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, Giraffes.
Hello.
So, Cheyenne, I want to talk to you first.
Sure.
As I said in my exit interview, the night Brandon was eliminated, I came to you and I was like, I'm ready to jump ship. What do I need to do? And then, I was like, me and you were talking a little, and then the next elimination round happened, and all of a sudden, you and Cody were saying my name. I want to know, like, was that an instant, like instantly too? Like I didn't even say anything yet, and all of a sudden you and Cody were throwing my name to try to go into vault. So I just want to know, like, was there ever a plan for me to join you guys? Like,
so before let me cut you off. So before you even came to me, and I already knew about that group where you was actually targeting me. So it was just like, you're coming to me for an alliance when you're not being totally honest, because you're targeting me in an alliance that I already know about. I'm just not the type of person to blow shit up or make it a big deal or tell everybody. I'll hold things in and I'll just have it. I'm not gonna, Giraffes, you're in alliance. I'm not gonna do all that. That's not who I am, and that's just not how I play, and that's not who I am in life. So I'm not messy. So I wasn't being messy. So I just went at it according. I knew you were targeting me. So that was not a real message or wasn't genuine when you said you wanted to join me, because you were actually targeting me. And like, I didn't have any ill will towards you. Personally, I always said I like you, but I knew you were targeting me. So it was just a game move.
Okay. Shelby, my question now is going to go to you, because Cheyenne pretty much answered my question. So me and you had talks very little throughout the game. And that, I always like to say that conversation road is a two-way street. I'm just as much to blame as you are for that pathway being very short. But I do want to ask you this, because as again, I said in my exit interview, like, as a player, you scared the shit out of me. As a viewer, you are my favorite thing to watch. I kind of felt like when you came back, that Shelby edge that was there before you were eliminated, completely gone. So I know, like, was that a strategy of yours to lose that edge and to kind of soften, or like what? Just was it just the predicament that you were in that you were trying to, like, go a little more under? Like, what happened?
Yeah, thank you for asking that, Drafts. I did hear you and Brandon mentioning the way you phrased it in the jury roundtable was that I lost my killer instinct. And I encourage you and Brandon, if you want to see my killer instinct, go ahead and watch the whole first 2/3 of the game. However, as we saw, that didn't work out for me, right? So myself as somebody who is able to adapt, I adapted and I came back into the game. I didn't want to come in guns blazing because I knew I would just be sent back out the door. There was always the threat when you leave and come back that it'll just be a round door, right? And so I came back in, I was a little bit soft, but I was playing behind the scenes. And what I did, I kind of mentioned it before, but I solidified with Cheyenne, Julius, and Kyra that I was not a threat to their game and that I wanted to move with them going forward. Number one, because I had already pledged my loyalty to Kyra before. But number two, I knew that Cheyenne and Julius were likely to win some comps. And I thought that it would be really easy to persuade them that I was targeting Johnny and Debbie, which I was. And so I went back into the game knowing kind of where I stood and knowing that at that point in the game, there was a lot of people who really respected Cheyenne and what she had to say, specifically Kyra and Julius. And so I really made it a priority to get in good with Cheyenne. A couple low-key ways that I did that. Number one was I made sure to mention in front of Cheyenne that me and Cody were good. I knew that that would mean a lot to her. Number two, I made this group chat with Julius and Kyra and Cheyenne to let them know that my intentions were not to gun for them at all. And ultimately, that is what kind of guided the final 6 of the game. So to briefly answer your question, I still felt like I was playing a killer game. It wasn't as loud and as rambunctious because it didn't have to be. And, I played a fucking killer instinct game for the whole first 2/3. And I wanted to come back in and play a little bit differently. I learned from my mistakes, if you will.
Okay. The only thing I have to say is I love you ladies both. Everything that was in the game was in the game. No hard feelings.
Sure.
He does
Not
not
at
get
all.
and just remember, Charlotte will always love both of you too.
Thank you, thank you.
We love you too,
Giraffes,
Charlotte.
I really quickly also wanted to say, just remember that we hadn't you're right that we didn't talk a lot, especially at the beginning of the game, but I was the one who reached out to you and was like, hey, I really want to talk to you a little bit more and kind of see where your head's at. So I did really try to build that, but you're right. It's a two-way street. And I think we were just kind of on opposite sides of the house in the early parts of the game. And then also Jess H was talking to me on your behalf for the Foxy 5 group. So
Well,
anyways, thanks, Jeff.
Are you satisfied, Giraffes?
I am very satisfied.
All right, good to know. All right, Giraffes, you can hop off camera. And that means juror number 4, Jess H, you have the floor.
Hey. So firstly, good job to you both. I think you both played really great games. So you guys
Thank
can be
you.
proud of yourself, no matter what happens. So I feel like I'm a bit undecided on who I'm gonna vote. So I'll probably just go off how you guys answer to all the questions. Anyway, so I hope this makes sense. I had to write it down. But I feel like you guys played very different games. Cheyenne, you were very loyal. And I feel like that got you far, that got you here. So I respect that. And then you have Shelby, who was all over the place, but you definitely had to fight from the start to get here. And I also respect that. So anyway, but my question is, what's for both of you, but so I guess out of being a social strategic or being physical, good at challenges, what do you think was your strongest area in the game and your weakest, and how did you think that influenced your game to get you to the final, and why do you think your game was better than the other person, if that makes sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Anyway, either of you can go first. I don't mind.
Cheyenne, do you mind going first for this one? My husband's just about to walk in. I can go if you really want to.
Go ahead. Can you ask that question one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. So I was saying like out of being like a social, strategic, or physical, what do you think was like your strongest area, and what do you think was like your weakest area out of those three? And how do you think that like influenced your game to get you to this point, and overall just explain your game and how it was better than the other person, I guess. If that makes sense.
Well, socially, I mean, socially, I'm just a social person, so like I think my social game was great. I was just myself. I was genuine. So yeah, I think my social game was great. As far as comps go, I did well because I felt like every time I had to, like when I came in, I felt like if I didn't know anyone, so if I didn't win, I would leave. So I had to. So I was basically winning for my life. That's how I felt. Strategic. I always had to make a strategy because there was always someone coming against me or somebody I was working with. So it was like I feel like all three I did great, and I guess that's why I'm here, and that's why I didn't go home and come back. Sorry, Shelby. That's what makes me better. I never left.
Okay, period. Okay.
Okay, just to answer your question, I've talked a little bit already about how I think I played a legendary game. And one of the reasons that I believe that is because I believe I played really strong in all three categories. And I know it's really easily and possibly it's true that the weakest portion of my game was my social game. However, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in my closing speech, but I had a good individual relationship with pretty much everybody on the jury. I would talk to each of you, if not every day, at least once every few days. I had personal relationships with y'all. Everyone knew where my head was at all the time. And I know things about all of you, and I can prove that, and we'll be talking about that later. So I do think my social game was strong, and I do think, like Jess, with you specifically, I do think that that's a part of why you chose to keep me when you did, was because we had built a strong relationship and had talked a lot, and we kind of knew where each other's heads were at, and we knew we weren't targeting to each other. Strategically, I also think I played a dominant game. I think that would probably be where I think I outshined Cheyenne a little bit, was because I had to flex my strategic muscles every single time. I know it's been talked about, but I just want to be really clear with everyone that I am the only person to ever play this game who has been in the box every single time that they were eligible to, besides when they won immunity and paymaster. So my back was against the wall the entire game. And so I had to plot and plan, and I didn't really have the numbers with me to make it so things would go my way, but I did my best. And I ultimately believe that's what got me here. Competition wise, this has not been announced to everyone yet, but Dylan, I'm hoping you can confirm this after I'm done here. But I have won 7 competitions throughout this game, 2 of those having multiple competitions within them. And I hold the record for most individual competition wins of anyone who has ever played this game. So competition wise, you could say that that was my strongest asset, and that is a really dominant record to hold. I've won the most individual competitions out of anyone who has ever played. I think I was strong in all
I had
three.
a tie with Johnny, and they didn't announce that, so I that's even between us. It just wasn't announced.
Anyway, so I feel like I was strong in all of them, and yeah, I think I did strong in all of them. I would say maybe my competitions were the strongest. I think strategy was maybe equally as strong. I do think I had to strategize a bit more than Cheyenne did because she was able to insulate herself so well, and is so easily likable. Let's be honest, I'm not as likable as Cheyenne is. And I think it's a fair argument to say my social was maybe my weakest point, but I do still think I played a good social game. It wasn't weak.
Okay. Great answers from both of you. Dylan, am I allowed to ask another question or no? I don't know if I'm only allowed.
Go for it.
Okay, period. So I have a quick question for Cheyenne. Sure. So I guess you could say Shelby had to fight and the battle back to come back, right? So I would say, do you ever feel like you had to fight to stay in the game, or was there ever a time in the game where you felt like you had to do something similar, to stay in the game, or I don't know.
I mean, before Cody left, I was fighting to keep Cody And after Cody left, that fell right on my back. Everyone was in my inbox like, "Oh, are you okay? How are you feeling?" But deep down they were typing, "We're getting Cheyenne out. She's a comp beast. We gotta get her. We gotta get her." So yeah, I had to win for my life, just like Shelby. Just maybe not the whole game, but yeah, for a lot of the game, yeah, I had to fight for my life.
Okay, period. Okay, that's what I have to say. Anyway, good luck to you, Barry. Okay.
Thank you. All right, juror number 5, you have the floor.
What's up, guys? Congrats to both of you guys. I'm really
Thank
proud of
you.
you guys. In my head, I caught it when Shelby came back. I was like, I know they both going to the end. I know it.
Thank
I
you for
knew
speaking
it.
this.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. And you guys played phenomenal game, both of you guys. Shelby, before you left, I gave you all your accolades, and I really meant that, like every word that I said. I'm sporting my T-shirt right now. That alliance was fake.
I love it.
This phrase ran rampant in the I Love Money house this season.
And I'm wearing the finish. And I'm wearing the finish line. Look.
I have a headache, so like a migraine, and it's because this finale is like an SAT question. It's like, read the book and tell me what you read about the book.
Right.
No, I smoke too much for that.
Examples and make sure you have the intro and the finale and the final and the thesis and So I'm not going to ask any questions because my coworkers all here have amazing questions for you already. So this is just like praising you guys, and I'm so proud of you guys. And whoever wins, just know that the other one did just as well. Don't be hard on you guys. So I appreciate everything. I think I was loyal to both of you guys to an extent. Actually 100%. Actually, I tried to be loyal to both of you guys 100%. Shelby a little bit later on. I went to ride that out, with me, you, and Kyra to the end, and obviously with me, you, and Julius, Cheyenne at the end as well. But I appreciate everything, you guys, and good luck.
Thank you, Jarvis. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Juror number 6, Lucy, you have the floor.
Okay. So I think you ladies, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think you're both incredible people. Didn't really like that Shelby called me annoying in her exit interview, but whatever. You both got to the end in very different ways. Shelby, you had to win comps. You had to strategize. You had to adapt and maneuver. And I love that style of gameplay. I love the maneuvering, the flipping back and forth. Me and Brandon did want to work with you, but like when you made that alliance with me and Jess R, and then started telling Jess all the things Brandon was saying, we just realized you were really shaky. And all the things that people would tell you, you would use to build trust with other people, which is strategic. I love a strategic player. Cheyenne, you got to the end by being incredibly social. You put in work. You put in a lot of fucking work. The second the vault ceremony would end, I'd talk to Brandon. I'd be like, oh, Cheyenne just called me. And he'd be like, Cheyenne just called me too. We'd be like, Jesus, the vault ceremony just ended. Like, this girl is putting in work, socially putting in work. And you were pretty untouchable because of how loved you were. I knew you were going to win this game, were a huge threat to win this game from the beginning. And you were just, no one could ever get you. You were very well protected because of your social game. So I just want to know from both of you, why should I value? Because my vote is based on what I value more, the strategy, the maneuvers, or the badass social game. Why should I value your way that you got to the end over your opponents? And Cheyenne, go first.
Okay, so like I said, coming into this game, I knew everyone had an advantage on me. So I had to hold a pencil with a cap on it for almost 2 hours in my mouth. So yeah, socially, I had to build relationships and trust and bonds because I was at a disadvantage. So that's why I talk to people a lot, but it was real. Everything I did was real. All my social connections was 100% real, and I never stabbed anyone in the back, not even you. When we were like, not even you, like I said, yeah, my game was real. A lot of people can't come in this game and leave this game and say they didn't change who they were and got to the end. Whether I win or not, I didn't have to be a bitch. I didn't have to backstab. I didn't have to blow up people's game. I didn't have to do anything outside of my comfort zone in the real world to make it. So I think that says a lot.
Shelby?
So to bounce off of that, I think that the word I think of when I think of my game is resiliency, and you used a great word as well, adaptive. I was very adaptive. And I think that you should reward it because like I've been saying, like my back was against the wall the entire time. I had to put it like when Cheyenne was putting the work socially, like sitting on calls with y'all, number one, I didn't really have the opportunity to do that. I have a husband, I have a job, I have like, and I'm not saying like, whatever. I just like chose not to do that. I wasn't really interested in sitting on calls and things like that. I love spending time with my husband, so I chose to do that. But what I did do was think a lot. I thought about how I could get myself to the end. And they were small moves that I would do throughout the game, but those small things added up to me being here. I think the resiliency, I think a lot of people are maybe considering kind of holding it against me that I was removed from the game and then came back in the game. Again, I just want to reiterate, those were the cards that I was dealt. If I could have played a game like Cheyenne where I was like, I had a shield in front of me and things like that, I would have, but Cody called me out on night 1 and people were using me as a coin target through that entire time. So I had to adapt. I had to work really, really hard to get myself to be able to even get close to the end, even before I was taken out. And I really think that I've worked really, really hard. And that's why I think that like you should value that. I was really resilient. I was called so many names out of my name, and a lot of that you could argue that I brought into myself, right?
Well, yeah, you told us that you hated all of us, so I mean.
Exactly, like you can argue that I brought that on myself. That's what I was just saying. But at the end of the day, I was able to maneuver myself out of that situation and ultimately end up here. So I think that you should respect that. I worked really hard, and yeah, I was blatantly honest about how I felt with everyone.
Yeah, and just so you know, I'm not holding it against you that you were voted out of the game. That you are in the game within the context and the parameters of the game. And the battle back was within the context and parameters of this game. So when I vote, I will not be holding that against you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, good luck, everyone. That's it for me.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Lucy. All right, juror number 7, Johnny, you have the floor.
Hello, ladies.
Hi, Johnny.
Congrats to you both for making it to be the finalists of this season. I am not surprised, but I'm also proud of both of you for making it that far. I consider you both to be friends. If you took some time to listen to my exit speech, I already said what I was planning to do, but I'll repeat it for those who did not waste 40 minutes of their lives listening to me. But I have one question, and I'm going to ask the same question to both of you. You guys can determine who answers first. And for those who didn't hear me, the reason I go off this, I ask one question, and to me, it doesn't matter what happened in the game. It doesn't matter how you answered everyone else. My vote will be solely based off this question. It allows me to not hold a grudge, for me not to be a bitter juror, for me not to pick my best friend. So 2 parameters to it. First one, I will admit I'm very petty. So here's what I mean by that. I do not, sorry, that's kind of commanding. I would like for you not to use pronouns such as I, me, we, us. I don't want you to talk about yourself. What I would like for you to tell me is why the other finalists should not receive my vote. So don't talk about yourself, but please tell me why the other person should not get my vote. And then secondly, if they're both weak, hopefully they're both not weak. Hopefully you both will want my one vote, because as Dylan said, it could come down to one vote. So that's it. Tell me why the other person shouldn't deserve my vote without talking about yourself, I, me, or we. And you can decide who goes first. And I wish you both best of luck. You both deserve to be here. The floor is yours.
I can go first. So Johnny, I just want to clarify. You want us to talk about why the other person doesn't?
I want you to tell me why Cheyenne should not get Johnny's vote.
Okay. Johnny, I believe it was in your exit interview, but you said that once you got your revenge on me, you didn't really care about the game. You were content. To live in not only your head, but a lot of other people's head rent-free, I think says a lot about how much of an impact that person would have on the game. The reason that Cheyenne shouldn't get your vote, she played a strong game. I'm not going to lie. Cheyenne played a really strong game. I think that being insulated and likable, it pays off in life. It's a wonderful thing. We're not all, can I say we? I can't remember if that's one of the things. Anyways, it's a metaphorical we. We're not all able to be that likable while still being honest to ourselves. So I challenge you, Johnny, to think about different styles of gameplay, styles of personalities, and think about if you value someone being true to themselves, regardless of if other people like that or not. I think I followed your boundaries of the pronouns thing. I did my very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelby.
You said me, or you're supposed to say me. Anyway, Shelby should not get your vote because Shelby played a petty game. Shelby was very manipulative, conniving, backstabbing. Every move she made basically hurt someone else. Shelby could not be loyal in the game because obviously she doesn't know how to be loyal. So Shelby does not deserve your vote.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Thank you, Shelby. I wish you both the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Juror number 8.
Debbie.
Yes. Hi, ladies. Congrats to both of you. No matter what, this was all a game. You're both badass boss lady bitches, and I'm proud of you both. So my question for Shelby is going to be, and apologies, if this was like asked, I can ask a different one in a different way. So you voted me out, and I know you and I had some personal differences. So I guess my question is, well, it's kind of a two-part question. What would you say like your biggest game move was? And did you think voting me out was more of like a strategic game move that you actually thought that like I had a chance to win? Or was it more personal because you wanted to, after seeing that house chat and, what I said, was just kind of curious about that move and what you think your biggest move was in the game?
Okay. So to answer the first part of your question, I have like 3 moves that I think were kind of like my shining stars of moves. Number 1, I do believe that blowing up the House of Laganja saved me that night. I think I would have gone home if I didn't do that or caused some sort of chaos. So that's my first move. The second move was the night that I threw out names when everybody else chose not to throw out names. I can't remember like what specific night that was or who was in power or anything like that, but there was a night where I threw out names and a couple other people did, but then a bunch of people didn't throw out names and then they ended up in the box.
Right. I was wondering.
That was strategic on my part. I made sure that I threw out names. I knew that there was going to be a lot of people who were shy because at that point, no one was willing to throw out names. And I really think that that was overlooked. I would have went home that night if I didn't play that. And it was a very low key, like savvy move that I was able to pull out. And then my third move is what a lot of people are really critical of, and that's changing the way that I approached the game when I came back in after being voted out. A lot of people in the game were calling me Shelby 2.0. I completely changed my strategy because these were all people, except for Kyra, who wanted me out prior. So I had to change the way that I was acting and had to be a little bit different. So those three things I think are my shining stars of my moves. Can you remind me what the second part of your question was, Debbie?
Yeah. So when you voted me out when I was in the box versus Julius and Kyra, was because people were saying like I didn't win any comps, right? So like, did you like vote me? Did you? And I'm just curious. I'm taking the personal part out of it, but like, do you think that was like more of a personal move because when you were invited to the Foxy 5 chat, you saw that I said like bitch and everything,
Right.
or was it a game move? Did you see that as like a big game move that you thought someone like me was a threat to win as an underdog?
I will say that it was 90% because I thought that you would be a threat to win the game. People are underestimating, number one, how much of an underdog story you had. And number two, you were in the box 7 times and you convinced yourself out of it every single time. People are underestimating Debbie's ability to talk. And so when people say that taking you out was like a whatever move or whatever they were saying, that's not true. You definitely would have had a story to win. And honestly, I'm leaning a lot into like my underdog story, and you had that story more than I did. And so I needed to remove you in order to use that here at the end of the game. I will say 10% of it, Debbie. The thought was out there in my head that, and I'm just going to be blatantly, completely honest, as I always have been. You've been on 2 vacations since we have started the game. And I felt at that point that, I've been talking about how I wanted to take strong players to the end. I also wanted to take people to the end who I felt like could really, use the money. I knew it was going to be a pretty big prize pot. And I just kind of felt like you were, doing well. That was an assumption on my part. I didn't really say that to anybody, but that was, to be completely honest, that was in my head as well.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Did you think I needed the money?
I am not saying that. I'm just saying like through Debbie's like life, I was just like, okay, I think she's good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play this game for the money, but definitely like, yeah, I mean, whatever, that's outside of the game, but yeah, those were obviously planned before the game. But no, I appreciate the honesty and the answer. And then okay, so and then in terms of my question for Cheyenne. So Cheyenne, there's 3 parts to a game that I look at for a winner. Social game, strategy, and comp wins. Tell me how you are a well-rounded player to win and how you fit all 3 how you check all 3 boxes.
Okay, socially, I had relationships with almost everyone in the game, and no one really was voting for me until everyone felt like I was a threat. So that means like comp wise, I was doing well because I was a comp beast per everyone in the game. Strategy, I didn't just stay in the game by being social and winning comps. That was my strategy. I had to win comps in order to stay in the game. My strategy was stay in the game, and I'm here. So my strategy worked.
Yeah. Okay. No, I agree. I just wanted to, get the answer to that. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Debbie, are you satisfied?
Yeah, that's fine. And then, okay, one more question for Cheyenne. Sorry. What would you say, and I'm sorry if this was already asked, just tell me, because what would you say was your biggest game move that you could put on your resume in the game?
I'd say just sitting back and like not making any moves until Johnny, because Johnny, that was my biggest game move because I feel like Johnny was a threat. I mean, I like Johnny personally, but Johnny wins comps. Johnny, and also he took out Jarvis. But yeah, that was.
Yeah, no, I figured you were going to say that. That's okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Debbie. Juror number 9, Julius, you have the floor.
Hey, let me see. So, I mean, I really don't have any questions. I'm not gonna lie. My vote, I don't have a specific vote either. So I guess what I would ask is, why should I vote for either of you? I mean, that's the whole reason for this chat. I mean, for this whole jury vote thing. So I guess why should I vote for you guys?
I could go first for this. Well, Julius, I never ever stabbed you in the back again. I always had your back. Anytime you wanted to do something, I supported your move in the game. I never tried to control your game. I never went against you in the game. Yeah, I was always there. So should vote for me because and like my strategies worked. And even when I made moves that you felt like you didn't understand, they always panned out because I always knew what was going on, even when I was making assumptions. So yeah.
Okay, Julius. I'm going to take a little bit of a different route. I'm going to give you, I just named like my 3 biggest moves. I'm going to give you all of the moves that I can remember that I made in the game as a reason to vote for me. So the first move, as I've talked about tonight, I brought Cody in with the idea of keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Immediately after he targeted me on night 1, which, as you know, is ultimately what led to the Elite Four and eventually the House of Laganja. I specifically for the talent show brought in a talent that I thought wouldn't lose but would not win. As a reminder, I drew an owl to remain as neutral as possible in the early game. I strategically removed myself from the 99 bottles challenge, which I know did not pan out exactly how I intended it to, but I think maybe most notably about that whole situation is that I was able to defend myself against Cody and Shy at that time, who were insisting I was like trying to sabotage our team into losing. You know, I've talked about it, but publicly denouncing the House of Laganja, I think I would have went home if I didn't do that, Julius, based on what other people were telling me and just based on my read of what was happening in the game. After that, I eliminated Jess R, which I would argue is one of the biggest moves of the early game. She was a dominant force. She was a social player. And, you know, she was one of the people in the house that was trying to go behind my back a little bit. I saved Jess in the safety chain, which later paid off when she didn't eliminate me. I somehow avoided Cody sending me home when he was Invisible Paymaster, and I believe that I did that by letting Jake make himself the bigger target. Jake was arguing with Cody that whole night, and so like Cody, like everyone thought that if that was Cody that he would take me out, right? I was able to sit back, let Jake kind of dig his grave, if you will, and I did the best that I could, but Cody, who I was really like openly against at that point, didn't take me out when he was Invisible Paymaster. I just mentioned this, but strategically that night that I voted and other people didn't say names, I didn't go home that night because I said names. I won that murder mystery comp by using solely reasoning and deduction skills. Like we hadn't deduced anything yet, but like just my logical reasoning is what got me to win that game so early. And I made a huge move that no one else was able to make at that point in the game, and a lot of people were trying to, by eliminating Cody. I also simultaneously got Debbie to promise me that she wouldn't raise her hand for me for 2 episodes, and I brought Kyra into the one-on-one conversation to have her help me with solidifying my relationship with Jarvis. So I just really found that to be a big night for me because I really utilized every single opportunity that I had to get myself further ahead in the game. I only have a few more here. When I went to the jury, I tried to connect with everyone in there as much as I could. I know Johnny talked about that on the jury roundtable, but specifically with giraffes, I went out of my way to talk with giraffes because we didn't talk a lot in the game. I formed that Final Four group with you, Cheyenne, and Kyra, which, as I've mentioned, is ultimately what determined how the whole final, like from Final 6 on, how that went. Exactly what I intended to happen is what happened. And I of course think that I had a part to do with that. I manifested it, basically. On top of all of that, I won 3 paymasters. I nearly single-handedly won that Name That Tune challenge while the rest of my team was potentially trying to throw the comp to take me out, which you know very well. I won the battle back, which was comprised of many competitions, and the final 3 comp was also comprised of many comps, and I won that as well. I gave a stunning opening speech, and I'm about to give a stunning finale speech. And on top of all of that, and possibly what I'm proudest of, is that I stood up for people, even my enemies in the game, when things went too far. So that is a cohesive list of moves that I made. I also wanted to add really quick that Cheyenne was just talking about how she thinks that her biggest move in the game was taking out Johnny. But Johnny even said himself that he credits that move to me because I was able to get Cheyenne, who openly hated me, to not take me out. So Cheyenne, I know I'm not trying to take any what's the word? I'm not trying to take anything
I gotta
away
be
from Cheyenne.
honest. Even I
Really
just
quick,
wanted
Cheyenne.
to hear you say what you said, but I was gonna take Johnny out. You could ask Kyra in our one-on-one, and Jarvis was down there in the jury. I was planning on taking Johnny out from that moment, just like Cody didn't take you out because Cody Jake was his biggest threat. A lot of things you said was we were in the back end planning half of that shit, but you thought you were in control, but we really was in the back end being the puppet master. So I'm sorry.
I disagree.
If you thought you were doing those things, you were not.
Cheyenne, I
Julius
say
can
this a lot.
attest because he was there in the groups when all those things you were saying, I was saying all those things and I was coming up with all the things you were saying because my thought, I was just coming up. It was my intuition. Literally, my intuition got me through the game. I foreseen things. Everything that was gonna come, every move people were gonna make. I saw it, I said it. Julius was there. Anything you're saying, he knows, like, I said these things. I planned these things. People don't know the moves I was making in the background. I wasn't in the front end, but I was in the background doing moves. You just didn't see me because I didn't have to be you. It didn't work for you. So you had to leave and come back. I seen it didn't work for you. Why would I do that?
I of course disagree. And Cheyenne, one thing that I, say a lot of times when I play these games, we're all the main characters of our own games. So it makes sense that you think that you were controlling that, but I also had a lot to do with all of those things. And that's why I
But you
named it
just
as
said
list of
you
my
were controlling that. The relationship with me when you came back, we were already planning on getting Johnny and them out because they were in that alliance. So that was already a plan. That's what I mean. You didn't come in and make that group and make that happen. Me and Julius already said, okay, Shelby's the safest bet because he took Jarvis out. I'm like, I cannot forgive that. I told production that day, I cannot forgive that. I cannot forgive that. Jarvis, I'm a loyal person. I can't forgive it. I'm just loyal. That's just me. I am who I say I am.
I just, I
like it or
for
love
me
it,
to come back in the game after we so publicly didn't like each other, and for you to not take me out there, I do think says something about me. I'm not saying that it's everything, but I do think that it says that I was able to reset myself.
And you picked me first. You could have took me out back. You could have did your backstabbing move, and you didn't. So like it worked in my favor too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a balance.
My question.
I wanted you to be at the end.
Like it got me out in the end, but no, that's all I had to ask. Y'all good with me?
Thank you, Julius.
No problem.
Oh, he left. I'm gonna assume that was his question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can hop off camera, Julius. Thank you. Last but not least, we have juror number 10. Kyra, you have the floor.
Okay, I definitely got it at an interesting time. So I just want to say that this is like a really, really hard vote for me because of the fact that I really like both of you, and you guys both have like great qualities about you because like people don't know that like Shelby and that you and I had like a good relationship, like behind the scenes that like was kept kind of private, and same with me and you, Cheyenne. And like I think that like we all three of us were kind of like we never like raised our hand for each other, like with like you and me and like but I wanted to know like Shelby, if you were the one who won that challenge that I won, who would you have taken out?
If I won the challenge
final
that you
Paymaster
won
for the trivia,
when you took Julius out,
yeah,
I would have taken Julius out because Kyra, I had sworn my loyalty to you, and the round before I had to swear my loyalty to Cheyenne. And as you know, we're saying that I was backstabbing and like doing stuff like that. I was blatantly honest. I really wasn't backstabbing people that much. I think that that's an over exaggeration.
That's why everyone was kind of scared to really work with you. It was like that's where the hesitation came from.
Like it was like people like when like you like first saved me, like people were warning me saying, "Oh, she's gonna blow up your game." And I've said it in the exit interview that I did like 20 or 30 minutes ago. I was like, I didn't really care because I didn't have much to blow up. Like I was like, so like I didn't have anything going on. But yeah, like I appreciate the fact that like you saved me every single time that you could. And so I wanted to like, and I really think that you deserve to be here much more than I did. That's why I kept you. And same for you, Cheyenne, because I know the jury was really divided when I chose to keep you instead of eliminating you. I was like, there is no way I'm gonna eliminate this lady. She literally volunteered herself in the box when I was the paymaster. And as like a little side note, when I was like younger, I got bullied a lot very badly. And the fact that when I got in the argument, like, and no one ever defended me, and like the fact that like when I got in the argument with Lucy and she was saying a bunch of things to me, you literally quickly just jumped to my defense, and I only known you for like a month, and like that, the fact that you were so quick to do that, that just like really like touched me, and that's when I really felt like I won the game, like socially, and I didn't need to go any further. But thank you for that. I'm sorry. But yeah, I genuinely appreciate it, and like I know the twerking like brought us closer. Like we were, you and I were like one whole butt cheek, like left cheek and the right cheek, and like the whole crack like just solidified. And but yeah, and then Shelby, I just like really think that like people don't give you I agree, people don't give you enough credit for your social game, because I actually think you're like a great person, and I think even though like I don't think you lost your edge when you came back in my opinion, I liked you both times, but I think like the second time you came back, you seemed like happier to me. And I really liked that because like I was like, yeah, she's laughing at my jokes more. But yeah, so but Cheyenne, I also like I kind of want to know like the same question, like who would you have taken out had you won that challenge that I won?
I gotta be honest, like because I'm loyal, like Shelby, again, like personally, like I didn't have an issue with you, and I even though you pledged your loyalty to me and Julius had a final two after Cody left. And Kyra, I was not gonna take you out, so I would have had to take Shelby out because our relationship wasn't as strong as me and Kyra and me and Julius. Just like Kyra's relationship with Julius wasn't as strong, but it wouldn't have been because of comps or anything, or social. It would have just been because like we just had a strong bond, and like I don't have no issues with you anymore. Like
You're a loyal person and you pledge your loyalty to them.
Yeah, totally so I'm just being who I am. I would have to choose to take you out instead of Julius.
Yeah, because I think that like I feel like Cheyenne, I feel like you and I have played like similar games, like when it comes to like the social aspect, and like I appreciate like hearing that, and like and then Shelby, I think that like I said, like I think you had actually like a strong social game, and at least that you were honest about it. Like, and I mean, I hope that like I know like when you said I changed your perspective, I hope that means that like I know how you said that you wouldn't like spend any time with anyone outside this game. I hope maybe like you and I have like a costumed outing or something like someday after this.
Kyra, I became very fond of you. Absolutely. You did.
Yeah, this is like a very hard decision. Like I'd rather be like a tiebreaker vote, or like someone like if I can just like do a half and half like a vote. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. But like it's been like it was an honor to lose to you guys, like I said before, and I think that you guys truly deserve to be the final two. And thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, the jury questioning has concluded. So Cheyenne, since you went first in the since Shelby went first in the opening pitch, that means that Cheyenne, you will go first in this closing pitch. And then Shelby will close us out. So Cheyenne, you can give us your closing pitch.
Closing pitch. As I said before, I have no notes. I made it through this game making no notes, just being myself. And round for round, I came up with the plan each round because I feel like trying to come up with a plan 10 rounds ahead gets you kicked out the game or get you sent off because you're not looking at the moves ahead of you. I played each game round for round, so that was my strategy. Round for round, just so I could stay here. I feel like socially, I didn't stab anyone in the back. I built personal relationships in the game, and I've also built game relationships here. I feel like as far as the comps go, I bust my ass to get it done. I did comps in freaking checkers while I was outside. I freaking did comps while I was working. I did comps while not sleeping for hours, and I gave my all to this game while working, selling art, while working, acting, while working as a brand ambassador. I do it all. So and I still gave my all to this game. And I brought myself to this game. And like I said, that's hard to do. It's easy to play hard. It's easy to just, win and be a comp beast and not do anything else. But I feel like I mastered all three, and I didn't have to change who I was to master it. So that's a hard thing to do. And Shelby hasn't done that. So yeah, that's my argument.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Shelby, you can close us out.
Okay, different from Cheyenne, I did prepare notes. I took this game very seriously, and I wanted to make sure all my thoughts were organized. Also, all of you know I'm a writer, I'm a poet, so I love taking these opportunities to practice speech writing. So buckle in, we got a speech, everybody. And it's a little lengthy. So I just wanted to start by making a couple acknowledgements. First of all, I've got a couple outstanding players and even better friends who came before me, who cheered me on throughout the game. Ganjo, who played season 11, Ken, who played season 10, Aaron, who I'm pretty sure played season 2, and never outwardly to protect the integrity of the game, but I'd like to believe internally that my friend Isaiah as well was rooting for me. In addition to my friends Nick, Danny Jackson, I know Josh Calhoun is out there watching in the chat, my bestie IRL Kevin, and of course my husband and my elementary school sweetheart Chris. I have to tell all of you players that I'm pretty sure that a prominent reason that I had so much hate for all of y'all was that anytime I had to play this game, it was taking away from quality time that I could be spending with him. And I know that you all get that. So, I know you noticed how quickly I would get off the Zoom calls after the episodes. It was always to go try and catch him before he fell asleep, spend a little extra QT with him. So Chris, I know you're watching. I just wanted to say an extra I love you to you. And I'm super excited to celebrate all the time we're going to be gaining together. I also want to thank the production team, Chantel, Crystal, Dylan, Isaiah, Keisha, Tyler, and V. I've played a lot of reality games, and this is the only one that I ever longed to play, really wanted to play. And now I can really confidently say that that was for a reason. The production value, the theme song, the competitions, the thoughtfulness of the diary room questions, and really most notably, the talent that Dylan has for hosting is just top tier. So I really wanted to say a sincere thank you to all of you for all the time and the effort that you put into this season and for listening to me complain in my DR. Jury members. 40 days ago, Isaiah asked me if I wanted to play this season. 39 days ago, the season started. So he asked me before the game, the day before the game started. I came into the game kind of unsure of the game and the strategy that I wanted to play with, but from what I knew about I Love Money, I knew that there was always mess and drama. And as I said in my introduction video, I love mess and drama. I made the decision before starting this game to strive to be among the legendary players on the Hall of Fame. And I knew that to be considered a legend, you had to take big swings, you had to make bold statements, and you had to make the moves that would be worthy of being remembered. I stand here today very confident that I did all of those things and then some. One thing that I want to briefly bring to the forefront of all of your minds, and I have to move my camera a little bit for this, is that I am fat. I feel comfortable sharing with all of you one of the many traumas that I've faced in my life. When I was a young girl, my parents unfortunately would make me decide every single time that we ate dinner together if I would rather have seconds, get more food, or get love and affection from them. They would make me decide if I would rather eat food or watch TV, be tucked into bed, be read stories and things like that. Then I would go to school, and if I didn't, people please, hide my feelings when I was upset, constantly be overly kind to people, it would lead to me being left out, and a lot of times quicker than my other smaller bodied friends would. And so because of the neglect I faced at home, I always believed, and kind of still believe, that I had to do all of these things because I was fat. The reality is that fat people do not get the opportunity in life to be honest about their thoughts and their feelings, and at the same time know and be confident that they will still be accepted and be loved. So that's one of the many reasons that I really appreciate the opportunity to play these online reality games, because I can be whoever I want to be. And this season, I decided to be someone who was blatantly honest. And yeah, I decided to be a little bit of a manipulative bitch, as Cody would point out time and time again. I utilized blatant honesty all throughout the season as my primary strategy. I'm going to move my camera back up. Hold on. Utilized blatant honesty all throughout the season as my primary strategy, because I Love Money is a game where whispering, playing he said, she said games, and lying will always be exposed. As my friend Isaiah so wisely says, what happens in the darkness will always come to light. And that is exactly what I made sure happened throughout this entire game. Everyone always knew where my head was at, including the people I was targeting, and I was able to expertly maneuver that time after time after time after time after time. There are parts of my game to please every single jury member with every priority imaginable. I was an underdog from night one when Cody took the first shot in the game at me for being too quiet. Then the trend started of me going into the box for being too loud. From there, I was put in the box every single time that I didn't win Paymaster or immunity. It felt like there was a spotlight on me at all times, and no matter what I did, no one would accept me for the way that I was playing and for the person that I was. Although I would have loved to play a game like Cheyenne, where people liked me so much and that I'd be able to have a shield and padding kind of around me, those were not the cards that I was dealt. And even if they were, not the game that I wanted to play in order to prove myself as a legend in this game. I was a fighter, I was a strategic beast, and I was this season's competition beast. I very proudly hold the record for most individual competition wins of any player to ever win this game. So if you're looking to vote for someone who won competitions, especially when she needed to, you should be voting for me. I know it's been very popular throughout the season to rag on me for my social game, and I hope you all heard what V said very wisely to me in my exit interview about how sometimes social games aren't about the connections that you have, but about the connections that you publicly break. However, I don't even want to talk about that right now. Instead, I want to talk to you all about my individual relationships that I fostered with each of you. Brandon, I want you to think about Sawyer and Lost. Although he wasn't beloved by everyone on the island, he made a lot of important decisions that impacted their experience and saved everyone there. And I hope you think of him when you cast your vote tonight. Cody, I want you to think about your favorite Big Brother character, Evil Dick. Although he caused chaos, he came out victorious. I want you to think of him while you cast your vote tonight. Giraffes, I took a shot in the dark. I'm pretty sure you've probably seen this. I want you to think of Jinx Monsoon in season 5 of RuPaul, when everyone hated her, and now she is one of the most respected queens of the franchise. Jess, I want you to think of Lindsay from Total Drama Island and her underdog spirit and how she prevailed even though she was underestimated by her castmates time and time again. Jarvis, I want you to think of Malcolm Brogdon, I call him Froggy Broggy, NBA Sixth Man of the Year, and the ultimate underdog who comes into the game, always comes in clutch, and is a huge reason why I think the Celtics are about to take the Sixers out in this series. Lucy, without being too vain, I want you to think of yourself, and I want you to think of your own resiliency in your life and where that has led you recently, and then acknowledge my resiliency in my life and also in this game. Johnny, I have to be honest, I was going to bring up Amy, but I felt like that was a little fucked up. So, you really didn't share with me like much else of personal relationships that you had. So whoever is the most resilient person think about them and think about how I tried to build a connection with you. Debbie, I don't know who your favorite Survivor player is, but I want you to think of David Wright from Survivor Millennials versus Gen X. He had this incredible underdog story and he got really, really super far in the game. And I was always inspired by it, and I hope that you were too. Julius, I want you to think of Carrie Underwood and all of the satisfaction she must have felt slashing a hole in all 4 tires in that song Before He Cheats, which is the first song that you and I bonded over and were singing together before one of the games. And Kyra, I want you to think of all of the times you said to me that you believe that I deserved to win the game. After all of that, I ask you all, do you really think I didn't have a good social game? In closing, I just want to say that I have been through this before. I've lost on a couple separate occasions because essentially the jury was turned off by a woman, taking this much time, taking this much space, being so confident in herself, and they chose to reward the more like humble finalist. I have never won a long-term game. I've never won a long-term game, and I want to so badly tonight, and I really believe that I have fought for it harder than anyone here and that I deserve it. I ask all of you to think about chubby little Shelby that I mentioned earlier and not punish her for the confidence that she has built over the last 20 years, and instead reward her for overcoming all of the obstacles that she faced in this game. In closing, in the words of Taylor Hale, the winner of Big Brother 24 and the first Black woman to ever win Big Brother, I have come to understand that I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor. Much like Taylor, I challenge you all to reward resiliency and persistence by voting for me to win season 12 of I Love Money. Thank you very much. I slayed.
Well, thank you. All right, ladies, this is as much as you guys can do. You fought all you can fight. You've gotten yourselves here. You've pled your case, and now your fate is in the hands of the 10 jurors. So what's going to happen is I need everyone to stay on mute. I'm only going to keep the final 2 on camera. So jurors, you cannot speak in the jury chat. You guys cannot text each other. You guys cannot talk on the Zoom call. I am one by one going to bring each juror into a breakout room, and there you are going to cast your vote for who you want to win. Now, just as a reminder, you are voting for a winner. You're not voting to eliminate someone. You're voting for a winner. Please do not make that mistake. All right, so we are going to start with Brandon. So keep your eyes open, jurors, because I will manually bring you into the room. So just wait for the invitation. So Brandon, we are about to bring you in, and we will be back. Good luck. Hello, everyone. All right, everyone can come back on camera. I have collected the votes. So we do have all the votes written down and everything, but before we crown a winner, we're gonna have some final thoughts on the season. We're not gonna go too into detail because there's things we'll talk about at the reunion. But prod, everyone can come on camera and we'll all have a chance. I also invited the pre-jury here to watch the winner get crowned. So, Chantel, Keisha, Tyler, Isaiah, everyone, you guys can come on cam. So I guess just to open up my thoughts on this season, I thought this was a really great season. You guys had a lot of pressure on you because the momentum from the last season was not there. Last season was really difficult for us. There's a lot of things that went on like outside the game. And then the season, no tea, no shade, no pick lemonade. It sucked. Sorry, season 11, but y'all was not a good season. And I think a lot of y'all know it. So this season with all new players, it was a bit of a risk because we've noticed that when you have a new group, it's not easy for people to adjust to the open voting, like face-to-face voting, how intense the game can be, the coins, which ended up making two people go too crazy. So it was a lot of pressure, and I think you guys lived up to the hype, and you guys made this season worthwhile. We had a lot of viewership this season. We had a lot of people watching. We broke records, highest donation ever. Like, I love that we get to give away such a big prize this season, and we get to award everyone because it's a lot of effort into this game. You know, I don't treat this as an org. I treat this as like a TV show, kind of. I write it down as on my resume as my thing. So you guys really reinvigorated my spirit for hosting this competition. So I really appreciate all of you for that. Just to briefly give my take on how I viewed the season as a whole, I think that this is probably one of the most emotional groups I've seen in the past, probably since season 4. And that's not a bad thing. I would much rather watch an entertaining group of people than a highly strategic group of people. Because y'all brought the entertainment. You did. It was fun to watch you guys. I think that you guys might end up being one of the more tight-knit seasons that we've had because you guys made bonds on a really tight level. And that's an amazing thing to see. I love seeing the friendships you guys formed. I really feel like some of you are going to be lifelong friends. I've seen people all the way back in the early seasons that are still friends 5 years later, 4 years later, 3 years later. And I really feel like that's going to be what it is with you guys. I also think for many of you, I think if we saw you a second time, I think you guys would be extreme competition because I think this was kind of your chance to get your bearings, get your sea legs. But now that you get the game and now that you've had time to figure it out, I think the second time around, y'all would kill it. To speak about our final two, both of you have such incredible stories. I have to say, Cheyenne, that I have not seen someone with as great social ability since probably Sharonica, winner of season 5, and probably Nika, winner of All Stars. Your ability to connect with people because of how infectious your personality is and how real you are. I think that's why you were able to get to the end, despite knowing from a very, very early stage that you were a huge threat to win. And whether you're the winner tonight or you don't win tonight, you're going to go down as a legendary player. And I think that you prove that in this game, the loyal style of play really is one of the best styles of play in the long run because you dominated. So props to you. Shelby, you had a really, really hard time this season from the jump. You were come on for being too quiet, then you were come on for being too loud. I do think that Alexis did kind of sink your game when she exposed what you had said to her. I really would have been interested to see how the game would have played out for you had that not happened. But I think for the cards you were dealt, you did a pretty good job with getting through there. I mean, it's not easy. You were kind of like, not to compare you to Frank, because I can't stand Frank from Big Brother, but every time you didn't win a challenge, you were up for elimination. And you really had to fight to stay. I don't think we've seen someone like you that had to fight so hard to get to that end game, actually get to that end game in a long time. I mean, we've seen people like Gloria on season 9 in the box every round. She got cut at the end. Sherry got cut at the end. So, and then even Heather Lee Cameron, the ultimate house target, she's never been to the final 2. So it's an impressive maneuver to get to that spot despite being voted off at one point. As for everyone else, I'll have more things to say about you guys at the reunion, but overall, I thought you guys really did a great job, especially for brand new players. And this is why I really wanted to have newbies this season, like all newbies. Sorry to the people that wanted to come back, but I think this really just boosted a new life into the series. So thank you guys so much. I'm gonna hand it over to our prod team. So whatever order you guys want to go in. Isaiah, do you want to go first? Oh, you guys can't unmute. Hold on. I gotta fix that. Okay, now everyone should be able to unmute.
Okay. I'll keep it short. This was fun. This is a fun season. Usually when we have like a bunch of drama, it's about like personal stuff, but you guys just kept it game for the most part, and I thought it was pretty funny. I had a good time interviewing people. I wasn't supposed to, but it kind of turned that way, and you guys did a good job. I made personal list of my favorites. I really enjoyed all of y'all, but the 3 people that I have for like my favorite people as an entertainment wise, because I like corny and messy people. I'm just letting y'all know that. So Kyra, you're freaking hysterical, so you're on that list. Brandon, your eggs are extremely hilarious as well, so I put you on that list. And then Jess, I like playing Roblox with you, so I put you on that list. And then my 4 favorite people for the messiest of the season. Number 4 is gonna go to Lucy, because Lucy, what the hell? But but that was the drinking the water with crying and everything. That was pretty funny. So shout out to you. And then the class, I like that one as well. And then Cody, I don't know what the hell you were on this season, but you are really hilarious as well. So shout out to you. You kept making the end of every live like a monologue about something, and I was like, what is going on? And then Shelby was a fucking mess. Like telling Debbie you didn't like her was wild. I'm not gonna lie. So and all that mess was crazy. And then number 1 is definitely gonna go to Debbie, because Debbie was on the 10 the entire time. She was my personal favorite. I thought Debbie was hysterical. Like, you need to stop saying sorry to everything and get a belt for your son, because my God. But yeah, that's all.
Love you. Thanks.
Next person on my screen is Keisha. Keisha, I'm gonna give you the floor.
I didn't come prepared like Isaiah with no lists, because I didn't know it was gonna be like that, Isaiah, but okay. I just want to say that most of y'all know I am the biggest eavesdropper, because I be in all the calls. Because I'm nosy and I just want to know what the heck's going on. So I am going to miss that. Now that the game's over, I'm happy though, because I'm tired and I got to focus on work, but I'm going to miss eavesdropping on all of the conversations, early morning, late night. I've fallen asleep to many of y'all talking. So that's going to be missed. Yes, because y'all be talking. So great game, guys. And it was a pleasure getting to ask all of you some nonsense questions and confessionals. And to whoever, congrats, Cheyenne and Shelby, for making it to the final 2. You guys killed it. And I'm going to welcome one of you 2 to the winner's circle.
Thank you, Keisha. Tyler, I'm gonna give you the floor.
To the season 12 cast, congratulations. Y'all did so phenomenal. I'm so proud of you all finishing what you started. That's definitely number 1. I do have some cons, but I'm gonna save it for the reunion because I love y'all so much. Y'all my babies. I love you. I love you so much. And I just want to give a good shout out to the 24th, 25th, and 26th cast member of season 12, to Charlotte the Octopus, to Brandon's Omelets, and to Georgia. Love you all. Congratulations, Cheyenne, Shelby. Just congratulations. Love you all.
Thank you. Chantel.
Wait, okay. Can you see me? Oh my God, I'm upside down. Let me turn this shit off. Okay, so I'm going to talk, and I just want to say that I am grateful that you guys, the ones that I did reach out to, I'm grateful that you guys accepted the invitation to play this season, because without you all, this season wouldn't have been what it was. And I have more comments, but I'm going to save that for the reunion. And then I would just like to say that I can't wait to welcome one of you guys to the winner's circle with me and Keisha. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Prod. I know Crystal said that she didn't want to say anything.
I have one last thing to say.
She's a loser. Go ahead, Tyler. Isaiah, sorry.
The game's not rigged. Okay, but go ahead.
Oh, damn.
Period. That part.
Damn. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all talk for a second while I get the written out votes ready. And then we're gonna crown a winner.
Isaiah, why are you so messy? Like Isaiah,
Nah, because the game is not rigged, bro. What the hell?
I love you, Isaiah. You're the best.
I ain't
Yeah, the
getting
game's not rigged.
Listen, I'm only rigging something if I'm getting money from some. I'm not getting
That's
a dollar
true.
from this,
Chantel,
bro.
why you still
Hell.
upside down? Turn your phone around, girl.
Nobody
Turn your phone
getting
around.
Hi,
Debbie.
Miss you.
Hey, Cody.
Miss
Hey,
you
Cody.
too.
Let them know that
Bye.
Roar was
Yes,
also
you
a character.
amazing.
All right.
Thank you.
Got
I
you,
was
man.
wondering what was gonna happen. Why didn't Roar get it caught?
Oh, shout out to War. Shout out to War.
And Debbie's son. And Debbie's son.
Oh, and Debbie's son.
Debbie's son.
Debbie's son.
I was.
Where's
Would
Debbie's
he
son?
say I was the messiest or his favorite?
Both.
The messiest.
Brandon.
Hey, which son took?
Oh my God, Tyler, stop with the picture.
Which son was there today?
Yeah, Alexis, I sent the jury an omelet every day.
That was Austin during the exit interview. That was my little 4-year-old. Yeah.
So Austin took runner up for messiest.
Trying to think of what I want to say, but I'm gonna say.
Hi, Colin.
Congrats, Cyan and Shelby.
Hi, Brandon.
I'm so proud of you, ladies.
Congrats. Dang, you know what's crazy is I would have eliminated one of you guys if I known you would have been bottom two. just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right, what is that picture?
Picture?
Where'd you get that from, Tyler?
Oh my God, is that?
That's for you to. That's for you to never find out, my dear. That's for you to never find out.
Isaiah, what is
Oh
this
my God,
background?
Isaiah, I thought Heather was with you.
What is
Yeah,
this
I was like-
background, Isaiah? Like, I'm trying to figure that out.
Just for this bit?
Okay, I wasn't the only one staring at it.
No, yeah, I was very confused. I love it.
It's like seeing, like, okay, does this go anywhere? Is something gonna happen? Or no, she's just getting her groove on.
Wait, can I ask you guys a question?
Sure, Debbie.
Fire away.
Production. You're probably gonna say no. Are Miles and KG invited to the reunion?
I will.
I invited them. We're gonna invite
This is
them.
this is what I will say. It's very tempting for me to invite both of them.
Please. Please.
Because I think there was a lot of things that were said to me and said to other production members that I did not appreciate. Just to put a pin in it. But the reason why I don't think I want them there is not even because of what they're going to say to me. They're irrelevant. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
no
no, I know.
shade, but they were both eliminated. They both were kicked out on, what was it, day 7. We're on day 40. Like, they're gonna go there and they're gonna talk over everyone and make the whole finale, the whole reunion about them. And it's like, sorry, it doesn't matter like how big they were in the game or whatever, but the game's not about them. So it's like, I don't even care what they had to say or whatever, because after they got eliminated, they tried going to my enemies and trying to come dig up dirt on me or whatever, and tried convincing people. I had to have people that aren't even in this season tell me that they were messaging them or whatever. And it's like all the same bullshit they said.
All right, forget I asked.
Oh, it's okay. But it's like,
I only spoke to KG once. It had nothing to do with the game.
no,
I mean, I don't think Miles would talk
I will
over you.
say
I don't
the
even know
one
if Miles
thing-
would come. I'm just
the
curious.
one thing I really didn't appreciate was that what his complaint was after everything else was that I changed the format of the game from making it one team from 2 teams were safe to 1 team was safe. Child, have you never watched the show before? Every season we've had 3 teams. 2 teams are safe and 1 team's up for elimination. So it's just I personally wish that those 2 would have just taken the L, gone on the block. I still think KG would have went home, but I actually think I actually think that Miles could have done really well, because there was
You
some
could have.
they were really well insulated with him, and it's a shame because he had a lot of alliances going on, and I think if he didn't let his parent, and he's also been applying to the show for like 2 years, by the way. I thought I would
Oh, really?
Ouch.
yeah, so I don't know, but forget them. We're talking
Okay.
about you guys tonight.
Sorry, just Hey, curious. Dylan,
It's
I have
okay.
a follow-up question about that though.
Sure.
Are we gonna be able to watch the KG fight?
Yes, I will have that fight there.
Yeah.
Debbie, I will say in your exit interview today, when you were like, this person went home and I cried for a week, I thought you were talking about me. And when you said Miles, I lost my shit.
Oh my god, Brandon! But wait, hold on. We talked about this, first of all.
Oh no, I know you miss Miles. I know that's true. I wasn't expecting it.
But
Well-
but I said I love you too, and
Well,
I know you do.
let's save all
Sorry.
this for
Yeah.
for the reunion. We'll do this in the reunion. So before we get to the vote count, Shelby, there is the business of which jury vote you canceled out. So I need to know, which jury vote did you choose to cancel out?
I had no read on where your head was at, and I really thought that you valued loyalty to Cheyenne. So, Julius, I canceled your vote.
That means that Julius, your vote is null and void. I will now reveal who you cast your vote for. Julius voted for Cheyenne to be the winner of I Love Money Season 12. So it was a correct read. We'll see, Shelby, if this was enough to tip the scales in your favor. So that means we have 9 votes remaining. So I'm going to ask that everyone except for our top 2, please hop off camera and go on mute. The second that I announce who the winner is, feel free to come back on camera and cheer and everything. All right, so ladies, it has been an amazing season. And tonight, the 9 jurors have spoken. So tonight, it takes 5 votes to be the winner. Any more than 5 just seals the deal. So if you see your name tonight, that is a good thing. I will now read the votes. The first vote goes to Cheyenne to be the winner of I Love Money Season 12. The second vote goes to Cheyenne to be the winner of I Love Money Season 12. That is 2 votes for Cheyenne. The third vote goes to Shelby to be the winner of I Love Money Season 12. Fourth vote goes to Shelby to be the winner of I Love Money Season 12. 2 votes for Cheyenne, 2 votes for Shelby. Next vote goes to Cheyenne to be the winner of I Love Money Season 12. That is 3 votes for Cheyenne, 2 votes for Shelby. The next vote goes to Shelby to be the winner of I Love Money Season 12. 3 votes Shelby, 3 votes for Cheyenne. The next vote goes to Cheyenne to be the winner of I Love Money Season 12. That's 4 for Cheyenne, 3 for Shelby, 2 votes left. If this next vote is for Cheyenne, we will have our winner. The next vote goes to the winner of I Love Money Season 12. Congratulations, Cheyenne. You have won I Love Money Season 12. Game over. You guys
told them.
You guys can celebrate and cheer. Everyone can
Let's go,
Congratulations, Cheyenne. Commiserations to Shelby.
Congrats,
Shelby.
Congrats.
You did an amazing job. Amazing job. But Cheyenne, House of Loyalty, baby. House of Loyalty.
And just to clarify, the final vote was also for Cheyenne. So Cheyenne, by a vote of 6-3, you are the winner. And you are the next inductee into the DH1 Hall of Fame.
Good job, everybody, though. Good job.
Good job,
Congrats,
Shelby.
Cheyenne.
Congrats, everyone. Well, good game, well played.
Congratulations. Well played.
Yay.
Oh, we can't hear you, Cheyenne.
Hold on. Let me turn this head off.
I can hear.
Oh, she left.
Oh.
Just gone.
Shelby, congrats too. Good speech. Your speech was really,
Shelby,
really
I
amazing.
won. I'm good.
That was an incredible speech, Shelby.
Incredible
Yeah.
performance.
Thank you
Amazing.
so much. And fuck all y'all who didn't vote for me.
Shelby, I love you.
Period, queen.
I was right to not like y'all.
So everyone voted for Cheyenne except for Brandon, Giraffes, and Jess H.
Wow.
Those were your
Of course. We knew
I
that.
will say though that Johnny vote could have been swayed based on who answered the question. Coming into tonight, a lot more people were voting for Cheyenne, so you did flip some people to vote for you.
You did.
You flipped me. I was
You
like,
almost had me. You almost had me.
Can you
out.
hear me now?
Yes. So
Yay.
Cheyenne, you're the winner. How are you feeling? This is your
So-
moment.
I'm happy, but like my biggest win is to be done and be able to talk to everybody. Like it was killing me to not actually be able to talk to everybody. And like this win is for everybody that I was like working with, even the people I wasn't working out that I loved, like I was cool with. Like it's for all you guys. Like I know it was important to you guys. This is my first org. I really didn't know what I was doing.
That's amazing.
So I appreciate everybody. Thank
Wow,
you so
this
much.
is your first org and you won, girl. That is amazing.
It's my first org. I didn't know I didn't know what an org was.
Oh my god, that's pretty impressive that you
Love
won.
it.
It's your first.
Shelby,
Thank you guys.
I see you're feeling a little down. How are you feeling now that the game is
I feel fine. Congrats, Cheyenne. I'm not feeling, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty pissed that I didn't win. I really feel like I deserve to win, but it is what it is. I'm happy for you, Cheyenne.
Thank you.
Well,
Appreciate it, guys.
I guess we'll, and Cheyenne, just to clarify, you got votes from everyone, the votes for, except for Brandon, Giraffes, and Jess H. Those were the votes for, those were the
votes that I already said wouldn't vote for me. No shade.
Period.
No
Let's go.
Brandon,
Let's
if
go.
I would have won
Let's
that,
go.
I would have voted your vote out, and yeah, I would have more votes.
I love
Period.
you, Cheyenne.
Period. Let's
so
go.
no
Come
shade.
on,
Fucking
sis.
called it.
all love. All love. I
Come
honestly
on,
came in
sis.
leaning towards you. Shelby
Listen,
did very good.
I
Oh,
foreseen
God.
everything that was coming the game, and
Oh,
I foreseen
God.
the jury. So thank you.
I love you so much.
Appreciate all you guys, and Not, and I won, and I'm still, like I said, not. It wasn't because I wanted to win. I really feel how I feel about all you guys, and I can't wait to talk to you guys. Cody, you better freaking get on the call with me after that. Right now.
Oh,
And
before-
drinks,
Call Jarvis, Julius, Cody.
So before I wrap up,
Cheyenne, drinks,
same?
please. Drinks, please.
So before I wrap up,
You already know, like, you're
before I
done with
wrap
us.
up,
We're lit.
before I wrap up tonight, I want to say one more time, thank you to everyone who played this season, to all of our cast members. Yes, thank you to everyone. You all contributed in some way. I want to thank our production team. I specifically,
you know I'm coming.
I specifically really want to thank Chantel, who did a lot of the casting this season. We would not have been able to do this season without you.
Thank you, Chantal.
Thank you to the viewers. Thank you.
It's probably
to-
almost time to move him into there.
Thank you to the viewers. Thank you to the players. Viewers, this is not the last you will see of our season 12 cast. We will have a reunion where we will settle the score one last time this Sunday. We'll have the pre-jurors, we'll have the jurors, we'll have our winner, we'll have our runner-up. And this will be the opportunity to lay all the cards on the table so that we can squash whatever beefs we got. We can maybe expose things that people didn't know behind the scenes. We'll have some clips, never before seen clips. We will have some awards to give out as well. And on top of that, viewers, you have a decision to make. To add to our prize pool, to raise up the other prizes we're going to give out, just because I want to let everyone walk away with a little bit of something. You can donate to our prize pool one last time by voting for your fan favorite. Every dollar that you contribute will go towards a vote for who your fan favorite is. There's already 5 votes for Johnny to be the fan favorite of the season. Oh, we actually did just get another $5 donation, one for each person. We have a vote for Kyra, Cody, Shelby, Cheyenne, and Johnny. So yeah, you guys can donate to our PayPal, you can donate to our Cash App, you can donate to our Venmo, and whoever gets the most amount of donations in their name will walk away with the fan favorite title. We'll be handing away Miss Congeniality / Mr. Congeniality, Player of the Season. We'll have a whole bunch of things to give out. So yeah, once again, thank you everyone so much. We'll see all of you on Sunday, and I guess for the last time, from outside the I Love Money Hotel and Casino with our winner Cheyenne and the rest of our cast, I have been your host I've been your host Dylan Andrews, and thank you all for watching. And let the music play. Oh shit! Hold on.
No music.
It was muted. Let the music play.